Oh, one person. Hey, what's up? What's going on? Let me pause this. I finally made it to Savannah. I left later than I thought I would because I was waiting for a check to come in the mail. And then it did. I'm kind of disturbed about the wins that the DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America, have seemed to sweep New York this past what election. Um, so it looks like it looks like these people they're in power, and what they'll slowly do is chip away at the Democratic Party until the Democratic Party looks entirely like this. And I was kind of looking into um, all these people that um, are on this trackapac.com website, because I think, why was I looking at this? I think some horrible thing was linked to this website recently, some news story, I don't know. But I really think it would be an interesting experiment or Venn diagram to find out how many of these candidates, the endorsements for the people against APAC, are also part of the DSA. I think that would be an interesting thing to find out. I don't know what the Democrats are for, but they're letting their party be taken over by communists. I mean, I'm just calling it like I see it. But I think it would be really, really interesting to see. I mean, I know this woman is a DSA person. We know that this person is a DSA. This woman also. So I think it would be like a very interesting comparison side by side to see how many of these Track APAC candidates endorsements were also members of the Democratic Socialists of America. I think there would be quite a bit of overlap. We have Graham Plattner. And I think the reason is that despite what they say about Israel or whatever, it's really just a cover to, or even a stand-in for hating the United States and capitalism, which, I mean, this is what I've always said about the left, though, is that they want to create a power vacuum so that they can step into it and then have, it's just about power. It's that boring. Like, I really don't believe that any of these people want to change the lives of the people around them. So I'm finally in Savannah. It took me a little while to leave. Um, uh, I don't know if they have the extremely poor. I'm not really sure about that. I feel like they have transplants, like white kids that move to New York City to pursue an arts degree or liberal arts. In fact, this lady on this Track APAC website here, who just won, this one hasn't even finished her PhD, was part of the Columbia encampment. She's been in her PhD program for 7 years, this one, and still hasn't finished. So I guess this is a job. This is her job. And so the Democrats are being eaten alive, basically, from the inside out. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's just what I think. I don't know if you don't have to agree. What's going on, Soup Broth? We're talking about the Democratic Socialists of America. It's ironic that they even say the Democratic Socialists of America because they hate America. And that's why they're on this track APAC, anti APAC. What would be really refreshing, honestly, is if any of them decided that they were going to talk about real policy, not these stupid geopolitics that have become really just buzzwords for America hate. I could get behind like socialism that actually seems to care about people, right? Like some sort of FDR, New Deal kind of stuff, infrastructure, putting things into America, like building America, rebuilding it. Like I could get behind any of that. But that's not what these people believe in. And in fact, what they believe in is the destruction of the United States, um, which is basically what the anti-Israel uh, thing is a whole front for. It's if any candidate says they hate Israel now, I think it's a fill-in for I hate America. That's what I think. It's become very clear to me. So what I've been saying is that it would be very interesting. Maybe I'll do it. I don't know. I don't really have time right now, but it would be really interesting to see how much overlap this endorsement list from the Track APAC website has with the DSA. And I know of at least two right here, Claire Valdez and this woman also are DSA people. And I think people just are very ignorant, and they seem to run on these platforms that sound insane to me. Like this woman says she's gonna abolish ICE, as if they have the power to do such things. It's like a high schooler. It's like a high school student running on free pizza. Like, vote me in for class president, free pizza every Friday. Like, how are you going to abolish ICE? It's ridiculous. These campaign promises are totally insane. So I'm in beautiful Savannah. It's too hot for me outside right now. I did about 6 miles walk today, from the town, like the center of town where I'm staying, and a photo lab because I've been taking a lot of pictures. I was in DeLand, Florida, uh, which is a stop on the Amtrak. Uh, if you're not, it's like a very weird little town in the middle of nowhere in Florida, and I felt like it's the second time I've been there. The first time I was there was because I was visiting Casadega, which is a spiritualist community. Um, like, so when I was in Casadega, I asked them, where can I get something to eat? And they said DeLand. And so that's how I know um, about DeLand, which is a very, very creepy town. I think the whole thing is haunted. And I think the hotel I stayed in was haunted. Um, but I think it's also a really photogenic town, as you can see here. And it's an interesting little place to visit. It's kind of like a place stopped in town in time. Um, and so that's where my first stop was. And I was waiting for a check, so that's why I left later than I said I was going to. But yeah, I stayed here for a few days. I really like this town. Like if you're this is the Amtrak. If you're ever in Florida, near Orlando, in Central Florida, you could check out DeLand. Totally haunted. There's hold on, DeLand, Florida, Freemason building. So this was the, I think this is the best picture of it here, maybe. This is their original like Freemasonry building. And of course there's one here. There's one everywhere at every town, honestly. But what was interesting about this is that people were telling me that it's haunted. Like I said, I think the entire town is haunted. But what was kind of crazy was that they were going to put these apartments on the second floor of this building up here. Yeah. And the lady who was working at the hotel told me that, I don't know when this was, but she told me that when they were working on it, these windows right here, when they were working on it in the back of the building, somebody smashed out all of these windows. And she said she didn't see anybody. No one saw anybody on the street. And so I was like, well, it was either a person or something else. Someone doesn't want them. Would you live in a haunted old Masonic building? Would you? Would you live in it? Because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to renovate the building and put apartments in here. But apparently it's been a really fraught process, probably because there are ghosts. The ghosts of the Freemasons of DeLand, Florida. And when you go to DeLand, it's kind of weird because if you're not somebody that lives there, I think everybody knows that you're just passing through. And like, I went to some place, some restaurant for food. I went to a restaurant for food. Of course I did. I think I got sunstroke. I was walking 6 miles outside today in the morning to drop some film off. So, but anyway, so I went to a restaurant and the guy was like, "Oh, have you ever been here?" I'm like, "No." And he just seemed like really surprised to see somebody that wasn't from the town in the town. Um, so what's a plan to get peace in the Middle East? What's the plan? I mean, I'm not a politician, but I find it really sus that this Track APAC website lists all these candidates that I'm certain a good number of overlap with the Democratic Socialists of America, because at the end of the day, these people just hate the United States. And that's what's so interesting about this trip, like me traveling through these places, because I love to talk to people. I love to talk to strangers. I talked to a Green Beret today, this old man at a coffee shop after I dropped my film off. And he had written 2 books. Actually, we could look him up. He gave me his card. Hold on, we could do that. But eventually, you know, I started talking to him about the internet and how it sort of has mapped this reality onto us that I don't think a lot of people even realize. And, you know, I said a lot of these things, I think they're being pushed by our enemies. And of course he agreed with me. And then we were talking about movies. We were talking about all the different movies that had been shot here in Savannah, which is a very beautiful town. Very creepy, though. I feel also maybe just the entire South of the United States is creepy and haunted. I don't know. So I'm just killing some time here before it like gets a little more sunset like out. I'm gonna go to like a rooftop restaurant type place to check it out. Yeah, it's beautiful, and I can't decide. I can't decide if I like Spanish moss or if I just find it very creepy. It's all over the trees here. Um, so Richard Towns is the name of this guy that I met at the coffee shop to get an iced coffee. Um, this is his story here, the heart of this Green Beret. He said he was meeting his editor tomorrow. Yeah, but I like to have little conversations with people everywhere I go. That's kind of the person I am. Um, so Terry says she probably would not live in the haunted Masonic. I'm telling you, and I walked past this. I even have a picture of it where the windows are totally blown out. The problem with my iPhone is that it always saves things with these Hayek, HEIC image files, and it's really annoying. But let me see if I can show you a picture um, of the Masonic Temple. I'm trying to upload it to Canva, so I feel like that's the easiest way to do that. Yeah. So here's what it looked like a few days ago. Um, so these windows were. Why does this picture look different? Oh, maybe they were installing the windows. That's so weird. I didn't even think about that. Because in this picture, there are no windows on this story. And oh, it looks like they were trying to build the windows. Wow, that's so when I walked past it, like it's really creepy looking. Um, so you're saying no, you wouldn't live in it. Terry says no. Suproth says if it was modified to have upper story balconies and doors for drafts. Um, yeah, no, I just like to talk to people. It's always been I don't know if it's a gift or what, but I just the guy who wrote this book, the Green Beret guy who I met today, um, in very like boomer fashion, when I sat in it was like two armchairs, a little circular table because it was a coffee shop. He was like, "Oh, I was saving that seat for a beautiful woman, and it looks like one sat in it," meaning me. Well, I was just like, some other people might be offended or be like, "How dare you, sir?" But I thought it was endearing. And I think I'm more forgiving of things like that. Like, okay, like that's actually kind of nice. Thank you for the compliment. Richard C. Towns, who wrote The Heart of This Green Beret, which you can purchase from Amazon, he told me. Um, yeah, I thought it was pretty endearing and kind of smooth. Uh, what does FOS mean? I don't know what that means. Um, let me see if I have any other pictures I could share with you here. I think these are some of the ones I uploaded recently. I like these kinds of, I'm trying to do sort of like Americana images. Sherwin-Williams. Oh, this is the view of my window of the place I'm staying in right now. This is Savannah here. This was the Amtrak station in Savannah. Here's another picture of it. I also really like seeing all the different Amtrak stations. It's kind of cool. This was just a picture I took from the window of the train when we went through Jessup. Seems like a this is this is why I love DeLand, or like I guess kind of like the South in general, or in a way, like not maybe Savannah so much, or like not the neighborhood I'm staying in. I'm staying in like a very nice, fancy neighborhood. But this is the this is the last meal I ate in DeLand. It was the blue plate special at this place called City Slickers, which was like the cheapest place in town. But of course, they had some of the best food from like a barbecue place. But I love a place that gives me a giant styrofoam cup of Diet Coke that I can refill. And this whole thing was like maybe $9 or something, you know? Um, oh, full of, okay, I gotcha. Thank you. Thanks, guys. I'm a little slow. Little slow. So, and this macaroni and cheese was so good. I don't even usually eat macaroni and cheese. It messes with me. Um, so back to DeLand. This was a picture. I posted this, but this is a picture of their Bank of America, and I found they had a couple of these sculptures around town, and in fact, it's like a really, I don't know, the vibe of the town, like I like it, but it's also very creepy. There are a lot of like monarch butterflies um, in statue form around the town, and it's kind of like their mascot, excuse me, the monarch butterfly. Um, but yeah, I thought this was interesting that this sculpture has this woman with her backside up towards the sky outside of Bank of America. I'm not sure what the statement is here, but it's kind of weird. It's kind of a weird thing to put in front of your bank. Um, I don't know what else I could share with you guys. I think that's all I had uploaded. Let me try to put some more from my phone because I thought I had put some more from earlier. I have a screenshot of Hassan Piker after their DSA win. These people are so dangerous for our country. And I just think the majority of people out there have no idea what's going on at all. Which I wish I had no idea what's going on. That would be really cool if I had no idea. I'd like to get back to having no idea. Then I guess I wouldn't have much to talk about. Let's see if we can get more. I thought I had uploaded a bunch of these. Maybe these are the same ones that I've I don't know. I thought I had uploaded more pictures of Savannah, but so this is the view from where I'm staying. This clock tower is never correct. What do you guys think? Is Spanish moss pretty? Do you like it? You don't think that Hassan Piker is dangerous? Really? Yeah, he shocks his dog. I mean, I think any guy who is into Islam, China, Russia, is dangerous for our country. You know, freedom's not free, my friend. It's not free. I'm also catching up on this article about Andrew Tate. It's really long, this New Yorker piece. A lot of it's information I already knew. I don't know. I think he is dangerous. Why do you think he's not dangerous? Like, they just swept New York, these people. Let me see if I have any other pictures I can share with you guys. I'm kind of waiting for the sun to go down a little bit more, and I'm going to go to a rooftop place. I guess I hadn't uploaded these yet. Hold on, let me, because there's also the Freemasonic building here. Let's see. I'm putting them on my computer, and then I'll put them on Canva, because that seems to be the easiest way to do that. Sharing some pics. But it's been pretty interesting to ride the Greyhound. A lot of interesting folks on the Greyhound. Okay. No, we saw that one. That's the Sherman-Williams in DeLand. This is a sandwich I ate today. This is just I'm just chilling. I want to get a better shot of this. You shouldn't take pictures in the middle of the day, but I was walking back. This is a monument to Confederate soldiers. The old Green Beret man that I met said he didn't agree with them tearing statues down because that's what the Soviets did, and we should keep them so that we can learn from our past. And I agree. This is a kooky old house that I thought was kind of photogenic. Again, do not take pictures in the middle of the day. They will not look very good. But these are all crappy old iPhone pictures. Here's a mural that I saw. Like I said, I did a huge long walk today in the morning to drop off some film. I'll probably take the bus. Here's an abandoned, I think maybe garage of some kind or a gas station. And it's interesting to do such a walk because I walked from sort of the nice part. This was a crab quiche I got. I walked from the nice part to the sort of not as nice part, the south side. I want to walk past this again. This sign's so funny. So he would only be dangerous if, for instance, he was given governmental power. So okay. But do I have to explain to you the kind of influence that he has on people with governmental power? Like, the reason I took this picture is because they were all celebrating their wins, 3 wins for New York, the Democratic Socialists of America, their candidates won. So he's very influential. That's why I say he's dangerous, because he's incredibly influential. And that's power. And he even says, like, I'm worth more now. And I forget which person this is, but she looks very familiar. Right, do I have any other photos I want to... you probably can't see it, but this fountain was making a rainbow. There's a rainbow here. Yeah, I think it's like a really beautiful place, but it's too hot. Here's the Freemasonic building. You can see their little insignia here, the Scottish Rite very gaudy kind of building. It's too hot and buggy though. I don't think I could ever live here. Um, he's a nuisance that represents the riffraff of the self-identified American left, but they are the American left. That's who they are. The DSA is the American left. What I think is that a lot of the people who voted in this election, and it seems like not many people did, which is kind of a shame, but I think it's a lot of transplants that have come from other places, a majority of them being white. And he was there to celebrate with them. Lived there for generations. Now they got to put up with these racist communists. Exactly. No, I think you're misinterpreting what's happening. And Subrath, I forget, I think you're European, right? So what's happening is that the DSA is the parasitic entity that's inside of its host, the Democratic Party. And so they're tearing the party, they're eating it from the inside out. That's what's happening. I don't think I think the Democrats have made their bed with a parasite. I don't even feel bad for them, actually, based on their policies. I've come to be, I guess, more conservative in my older age, and their soft on crime policies are not good for society. It's just true. It's just a fact. And they think that everyone deserves a shot at redemption. They think that everybody can be redeemed, and that's just not true. They don't understand evil, or they understand evil far too well, and they're using that again to destroy society. That's what I think. Zooms per Androids, iPhones. Yeah, definitely not a great camera on this, but whatever. Not European American. New York City native. I mean, that's what I see from here, but you can also have obviously your own opinions about it. I think those are all the pictures I can share. I think I accidentally uploaded some twice. Here's one. This is from Florida. It's from before I left. And I don't even know. I'm just on the road now. I'm in this weird liminal state. A lot of the people on right-wing Twitter are talking about this film called Citizen Vigilante. So this kind of ties into my talking points about how I think these people are soft on crime, and that's no way to run a society. And I often think they have these plans that will never come true, because otherwise, if they were to come true, they'd have to come up with a new plan. Like this kind of thing where they say they want to abolish prisons, right? It's just never going to happen. That's not the world we live in. And I asked my friend, I said, hold on, let me scroll up. Because I watched this movie, which is not a good movie, okay? It's bad. It's Uwe Boll, who's known for making really, really, really terrible movies. And it got me thinking about vigilante justice. And I said to my friend who I discussed this stuff with, I said, does the left want vigilante justice? Or is that just an unfortunate side effect of their policies? And she says that she thinks it's just a side effect until they remake the justice system into their utopian vision, and that they're crazy, and progressives are that way because they're obsessed with a future which is imaginary. So I think that's kind of interesting. Um, anyway, this movie is being talked about a lot. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Uwe Boll. That's the guy who made this. His other I don't even want to call it work. He makes really terrible movies like all the time. That's kind of his deal. And he found a loophole in the tax credit system of Germany, and that's how he made all of his movies, with this like tax loophole. Um, and so he's just known for making, like, look at this list, like like really really awful, weird, bad movies. So a lot of people on right wing Twitter are talking about this movie with Army Hammer, who was also known to be some kind of weirdo cannibal. Nazis. Um, yeah, he like got in trouble. I don't know if you guys remember this guy, for like getting in trouble for like cannibalism or something. I don't know. I vaguely remember this. Um, anyway, so he's in this new movie by one of the worst filmmakers probably of our time, um, called Citizen Vigilante. That is not a good film. It suffers from what many of these films suffer from, a lack of a real cohesive plot, but also pacing. Like, you're never really sure. It seems kind of like he shot all of this footage and then like randomly put together the clips in lieu of a plot. Like, it's not good. But it's about a guy who apparently is a landlord in some random European place. It just says Europe at the beginning of the film. And he goes around, being a vigilante and mostly getting rid of judges and rapists, and you know it's a really bizarre movie, and he's clearly like very psychotic. And so, but the end, it says it's dedicated to all of these people who have been abused by immigrants coming to Europe. It's very xenophobic. Um, so I think Uwe Boll is uh, sincere, which makes it even worse, because it could be kind of an interesting character study into a psychopath and the kind of person who wants to enforce the rules while not following them himself. Um, like it's an interesting premise, and it could definitely be done, I think, in a better way, but then it wouldn't be like a bad B movie. Um, so American left and right are performative. Plenty are deranged and pathetic. That's your opinion. But they're not performative. They're getting elected into office. Okay. New York City, DSA, election winners. Okay. Like, I don't think it is performative for them. I think they really, want to be in power. And maybe that's the performative part. They're saying all this stuff that, think will get them wins. So we have, yeah, these two, this woman, these people won New York City. And they are DSA candidates. I don't know. I think New York's staring down like the barrel of a gun at this time. And so what's interesting about this movie, Citizen Vigilante, is that it's sort of stoking the flames of people being upset with what's going on. I think it's a very, it's like of the time, you know, it makes a lot of sense but it's not a good film. Okay. I just have to stress that if you're going to watch this, it's not good. And if you do want to watch it, please don't pay for it. Please don't give U-Bowl any money. And come to your own conclusions. But the more that they do this kind of soft on crime stuff, I think the higher possibility that someone like this is going to emerge. You know, I think vigilantism is going to become more and more prevalent as people become less trusting of the justice system working, which is a direct result of this innocence fraud kind of stuff, of soft on crime policies, on not recognizing evil, on thinking that everyone deserves a shot at redemption or can be redeemed. It's just not human nature. And that's my other problem, is the left doesn't seem to understand human nature. No prisons certainly is a bad idea. Immigrant crime and the phenomenon of predatory gangs that engage in sexual predation are very real, and they've been let off in the UK. Yeah, so I think we're going to see like real life instances of people like this. The rest of the Democratic Party and various interests keeps these people in check, but they're not. They're not keeping these people, the DSA, they're not going to keep them in check. They're being, it's an invasion. Like they're being invaded. So yeah, I don't know. I think you're going to see more violence on the streets. The less that they, you know, they have subverted our justice system. The people who are anti-carceral, people like Angela Davis, right? And it's not that they're wholly against prison, because you better believe that you and me are going to go to the gulag, you know. They're, you know, it's selective. Anyway, I think I've caught everybody up on like what I've been thinking about. Yeah, but it's starting to, isn't it? Wasn't there like a big riot recently? I don't know. I don't keep track of their news. It's not that interesting to me. I don't live there. And I ask the same of people who don't live in America. Like, it's so funny to be obsessed with American politics when you're not even from America. I also watched this recently, which was like this really, really weird, like victimization fantasy. I don't know. I don't agree with what it was saying, but I thought up until the point of the end, which totally jumps the shark, that there was some interesting commentary. But it does just kind of seem like a weird gay victimization fantasy. Don't recommend. Would rather watch Citizen Vigilante again, which is not good. Or I'd watch North by Northwest. Love some Cary Grant action. Love this movie. Color Theory kind of holds up too in this one. Um, I mean, okay. Soup Broth, do you just come here to yell at me? Is that why you come here? Okay, the last thing was when I was getting my sandwich, I heard a really funny song. Let me look it up. I was like, what the heck is this? It was called Hippies and Cowboys by Cody Jinks. Has anyone heard this song? I actually really hate country music. Like, it's just not my thing. And then the cute girls running the sandwich place, or well, I was actually a seafood place, but the cute girls that were running it decided to take the iPad into their own hands and put some pop music on. But this is the song that was on when I was eating my sandwich. And I just couldn't believe it. Has anyone heard of this song? Has anyone heard of Cody Jinks? There really are like maybe at least two different Americas. I don't know. This was really bad. I'm glad she changed the music. And my final note is that I really dislike hippies. I think the hippies are kind of the reason why we're in the mess that we're in these days. Stupid. And the crazy part about hippies is that they always want to, just like any leftist, really, they think they're morally superior, so they want to push their lifestyle onto you, and you're a big bad person if you don't like it. Hippies are like some of the most uptight people I've ever met in my life. Ooh, nobody wants to hear my rant on hippies. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get ready to go out and take some pics during the golden hour out here. I hope everyone's well out there in internet land, and I'll see you in the future.